Hello, and welcome to a stealth camp. More information in just a moment. So, I am on my way to stealth camp, I think at Burford Lay-by again. And the reason I'm doing it is tomorrow is my penultimate funeral before I take my sabbatical. Now, you might wonder, well, you know, why is that so important to do a stealth camp the night before? Honest truth is, it's a very early one, and I did come home with Helen this evening, and I thought, I'll just get up nice and early in the morning. But I suffer terribly with a little bit of anxiety on this, so I'll never sleep because I'll be frightened that I'll oversleep in the morning. So I'm going to on the road, and I will. I'll catch up with you a little bit later in a moment. Yeah, I'll catch you when I'm on the road. Something quite weird just happened. I've just pulled over in the lay-by. I heard what sounded like a stone chipping the window, but it sounded like it came from inside. It was bizarre, so I stopped and I checked everywhere, and I can't see any evidence of anything. So, yeah, I've absolutely no idea what it could be. So, I'll get back on the road. So, it hasn't gone quite to plan, story of my life really. However, I have found somewhere rather nice to pull up for the evening. So I'm doing a funeral tomorrow. I've come over to Cheltenham tonight. Noah's with his mum, so I'm on my own. So I'm just going to pull the blinds down. I'm right on the edge of Cheltenham. So I've got about 6 miles to go in the morning, that's all. So if I just turn this light off, this is Andoversford, and I'm right by the industrial estate. So, oh gosh, I don't think you can see me at all, can you? Oh, that's very bad. Okay, so a bit of post-production might be necessary there. Don't know how well you can see it. Let's go back inside. Oh! Lock the door. Put that back on. There we are. So, a couple of things, which are quite bizarre actually. On my little camera here, it gives you a little picture of the back, and spiders created a little web across it. So all the way here, the whatever it does, the sensor that sort of lightens everything up as the rear view mirror at night, all I could see was a spider's web. So it sort of blinded me, so in the morning I should try and get that down. And the other day, well, what can I say? Things all tend to happen to me, don't they? I'd set off and I'd left a cup of coffee on there, like an idiot, and it slid off and it went all down there, and I've had to, I didn't see it, but the mat has gone from down there. I've actually had to take it off, and I've sprayed it, and I've left it on the line at home. So I do hope I don't get disturbed, but I'm right by the industrial estate here, so I think I should be okay. I'm going to settle down just for a few hours, get some sleep. But yeah, I'm just going to get set up, get the heating on and what have you, and I'll come back and talk to you in a minute about why I've come to Andoversford rather than stopping at Burford, as was my plan. Now this is rather a nice opportunity to test my off-grid capability and my new electric blanket. I bought these from Lakeland. I've got one here and I've got another one sort of in Noah's bedding there, which I won't pull out. But going back to the idea of heating the person rather than the vehicle, I've got my off-grid AFRI power station, my 2000 thingy down there, so I'm going to get that out in a minute. I'm going to set up my electric blanket, so I've actually got a nice warm bed to get into. It's not actually that cold, but it may be in the night. So if you're wondering why I didn't stop at Burford, you know when something just doesn't seem quite right? Well, I pulled up in the lay-by at Burford where the kebab van and breakfast van is, and it didn't seem quite right. It was a funny feeling. So I turned the van around and there was a car that was parked a little tiny bit awkwardly. And I thought, well, if he goes, I can pull forward, because I was right in the middle of if another lorry came in. And I just had visions of some lorry pulling up and blocking me in because he needed to stop or what have you. So, and I know it's first come, first serve, but it doesn't always work like that, does it? I thought I felt a little tiny bit vulnerable. And I always try to be considerate, because I know, you know, when people are working professionally driving and they've got to stop for a rest and what have you, you know, it's very, very different. I mean I can drive on, can't I can just find somewhere else, but if you run out of driving hours, you need to stop. And I mean, my vehicle's 7.5 meters, you know, if it's like 40 foot or what have you, you know, you're a bit more scuppered. So I try to be considerate, and I do get that, you know, if you've got to stop, you've got to stop, but I also didn't want to get blocked in. So right, I'm debating a whoop, bang, that rang, didn't it? I'm debating a cup of coffee, but will that keep me awake? It's that middle-age thing, isn't it? I'm going to pull the bed out, I think, get the electric blanket on instead. Pulled my power station out as well, so that it can breathe all the ventilation holes and what have you. Yeah, I think put the electric blanket on. So power's on, 82%. So what I'm really interested in is if I use that all night, and it's on a timer as well as a heat setting, so it is going to go off naturally, and I have to put it back on throughout the night. But 82%, we'll see how that is in the morning. So because my plan is for Noah and I to be able to go off-grid sort of at least 2 nights at a time and have sufficient warmth, you know, sort of heating. We're going to run the central heating on the gas and what have you. And also, you know, just like cooking and things like that will produce a certain amount of heat from the oven. It really, really, it does give up quite a heat. Particularly now I fix the oven door, because this, little tiny bit of wobble in there, but it was actually hanging out like that. So I did a little bit of adjustment. Right, so Dino, I think it is time for Dino. I think it's time to sort of get into bed. So I'm going to keep my clothes on. I always do when I'm stealth camping. I'll take my shoes off, but you know, if I need to sort of go, you know, quickly for any reason, I want to be in a position to do so. So I'm going to settle down and yeah, I'll come back to you a bit later. It's now 20 to 5 in the morning. I got up to use the loo, and it's quite good actually, because it's getting cold, so it's a perfect opportunity to test the electric blanket on the on the power bank. Not plugged in on site, but just to see, you know, okay, it's cold. Would I be comfortable when it gets even colder in the winter? That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, well, it's quite warm actually. The electric blanket is working quite well. Now, in the middle of the night, it went very quiet. There were a few industrial estate noises, you know, from the industrial estate, things you'd expect, people clanging and banging occasionally. And it's now started for all the fridges kicking off now, you see. But no, it started off. It's very quiet, no road noise at all. But now it's occasional cars going by. So about 20 to 5. Now I'm going to get a little tiny bit more rest, a tiny bit more sleep, and then I shall think about a shower and getting my stuff ready for this penultimate funeral today. Yeah, I should be glad when it's done and out of the way, and then we're a stage closer to this thinking space that's so necessary. So yeah, I'll go and get a bit more sleep, and yeah, I'll be back with you momentarily. It's now a little bit later on, and I've had a shower and put on some clean clothes and had a shave as well. It does feel quite nice actually. So blinds are all still closed, and time's getting on. It's 5:45 now. So more traffic coming backwards and forwards. I've got 6 miles left of my journey, so not very far at all. I'm going to head down to the Creme momentarily, but or actually won't be open until about 7:30. But I was just going to have a look outside and also show you how well the battery did, because if I just put it on, so 69%. So from 81, 69, that's 12. That's not bad. And the actual battery unit itself was left on all night, even though the electric blanket cut out for a part of that. The actual power unit uses a certain amount of charge just to run. So I was going to have a look outside. I was going to take my keys with me. I'm quite paranoid actually. I'm quite paranoid just in case I go outside and lock myself out. So let's go and have a look and see what outside is like. Oh, still pitch black. Yeah, you can't really see anything. So oh, it's starting to rain as well actually. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to switch the gas off because I've finished with it here. Fiddly this. So just turn the gas. I can't really see that, but I've turned the gas off. So so that's all ready to move off as soon as I am. Right, there we are. I could do with a new battery in the camera actually, so I'm going to switch that across. I'm going to open all these blinds up and yeah, work out my next move. I've just noticed this keeps coming off. Oh, and I know what's wrong with that. It just needs a little screw. And oh yes, bathroom vent. Very important. Oh, get all the moisture out. Right, time to sit down and work out the next bit. Right, let's try a bit more light. Oh, there we are, look. Oh, some sort of clever backlighting. That's really not working, is it? There we are, that's sort of working. Right, it is now a couple of minutes to 6. All the blinds are open. I've had a coffee, I've had a shower. So my funeral is at 10:30. The creme doesn't open till 7:30. And I do have some little bits and pieces admin wise to do, but I'm not particularly feeling it at the moment. I might go and venture something to eat, because it was a bit of a last minute thing. I was with Noah the last 2 nights. And then yesterday we had a clinic, and I'd set some. I'd gone home and I'd sat and I'd had dinner with Helen, but whenever I've had a funeral on early the next day, I've never slept properly. And I remember years ago when I was rushing around quite a bit, and I would sort of go from one to the other sometimes. I didn't like doing it. I didn't like being in a rush, you know, and I think that's always been the way. Maybe because, you know, people are relying on you so much, you just don't want to let people down. You never know what the traffic's going to be like, whether your vehicle's going to have an accident or a puncture or something. So, yeah, last night it was actually quite funny, because I was sat on the sofa with Helen, and I said, I might go over. And she giggled, and she said that she'd actually predicted that would happen. And I remember just, you know, saying, you know, you think you know me so well, don't you? And of course she does. So yeah, what more can I say? So it's only because this is the last but one funeral that I'm going to do for a while. I can't say it'll be the last one, you know, sort of ever. But it is the last ones for a while, before I take this little break, this little sabbatical. I just don't want to let anybody down, so yeah, that's why I came and slept, did a bit of stealth camping last night. Right, so it's still pitch black outside. I'm thinking it might be nearly time for some food, so why don't I get on the road and go and see what I can find to eat. So touch wood, the slope hasn't caused too much of a problem. Oops. Oven is on. A nice park bake, and I always line the tray with some tin foil. Then I cook the bacon in that. As I'm going, I drain the water, the water that it soaks in, the salt water away, and any fat, and then I can just chuck that away, and the grill pan is clean underneath. So it just makes it easier, I think. Even when you're not on the go, I think it's just far easier just to throw the tin foil in the recycling. Right, cheers, and I'll do some cooking. I would say that I always do this. I always cook far too much. But the only thing is that the fridge isn't on, so I had to cook the whole packet of bacon, which I paid £2.50 for. It would have cost me more than that in gas to run the fridge. And yeah, whole baguette a bit too much. So yeah, I've got loads left for sort of 11s and lunch, and I've got some coffee. Now I thought I'd just have a little look outside because it's now getting light. Thing is, this would have been a lovely place to have stealthed. Only thing is, I would feel quite exposed here because at least where I was before, there was an industrial estate, there was a garage just up the road, and if anything had happened, you know, and I'd got, you know, attacked or something had gone wrong, there was somewhere I could go for help, for shelter. There was something. Here, it is literally just a road out in the middle of nowhere. So, a little tiny bit concerned. Although it's beautiful, and you know, this is, I think, a far more picturesque place to wake up. And also, on the hill up there is just something about being safe. So, yeah. Right, I've just about done all my admin. It's time to make some phone calls. I need to phone in, say hello to Helen, and I've got to organise Noah as well. So I'm going to go and do that. Yeah, and I will be back shortly. So, come to the end of the video. I did make it to the church, or the chapel, on time. It was an interesting stealth camp, and I'm glad I did it. But I'm really glad that that I was able to sort of be here, you know, for work purposes first thing in the morning, and not have to travel, as I would have had to have done at sort of 5-6 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I'm really glad about that. But what fun! Another my teeth back in. Another good stealth camp, and it was cool. It was coldish, but it wasn't freezing, so it was a good way to test the electric blankets, to see my electric blanket anyway, to see how that worked. And I think from what Noah said the other night, I think he likes his. It's just when it gets really cold, it's that, do we just turn the heating off in the van, just heat ourselves, sort of under the duvet and what have you, and then put the oven on in the morning and what have you. I think it's going to work. So anyway, there's people appearing, so I should be respectful. It was nobody here when I started filming, and then 2 people have now turned up. So yeah, I will go for now. I will say thank you for watching, as always. I will catch you on the next one. It's been a little stealth camp, so yeah, it's been fun. See you next time. Bye for now.